right now, I just want to really talk to you today about the top 5 reasons why you really, really do want to look at turning your passion into a profit. Why I believe that it is absolutely mission critical at this stage of you guys' lives. Now, one of the reasons I want to really get into this is that we all seen it. We've all seen the great work migration, uh, quiet quitting. This is the thing that's out now, and people just kind of like working less. The loss, the lackluster of people's motivation. We've talked a lot about the pay, how people are paid, and the way a lot of people have not been fulfilled financially on their careers as well. But one of the key things I do want to say is this: where did all of this come from? Did it just one day show up on our doorsteps? No, this ideology was really pushed a lot during the COVID campaign years, and the tragedy of COVID in one aspect, but the blessing of it in another, giving people more time to be in their own place and space without all the rah, 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 without all the hustle and bustle. The more hustle, the more bustle, the more movement and everything. The less time to think and settle down in our own heads, right? And so it allowed people to be able to look at that man in the mirror, right? Like Michael said, look at that man in the mirror, that woman in the mirror, and really dig deep in yourself and ask yourself, how fulfilled really were you? How fulfilled really are you? And so I want to really put in retrospect that the biggest challenge that we have today is recognizing that action has to be done, right? Action cannot just work here and not work in the physical realm, right? Action has to come into the physical realm, right? So why do I believe the top 5 reasons why we should all be working in our passions? I'm going to start with the first and most important thing. Everything we do, we have to have a sense of value and importance that we believe we bring to the table. That is a natural, ingrained thing that I think all God's created creatures, which we are His prize creation, have embedded in us. Like, we all want to have a fulfillment that what we do, we bring something to the table. For many of us, we all know we've been on teams, we've been, sports. That is probably the number one area that you really get that fulfillment. So that's the first thing. The first thing is the importance and the purpose of what it is that we're doing. So that right there is one of the reasons I want to highlight today, the importance and the purpose, because what we find out is the more value you believe you bring to the table, the more purpose you believe you have, the more productive you seem to be. Another thing is that we recognize that in work, when we are performing, we have to have a level of motivation. That's my second reason. I believe that when we work in our passions, we are highly motivated to do the thing that we do. And that is the biggest thing I think we don't want to look. How many of us have been on work sites, been on jobs where there's just not the motivation? Like, once the pay and the money starts to set in, and we're getting our little bread, our little money, it seems to be like, okay, something's missing here, right? And so that's what I'm saying. It's like you have to go out there and fulfill. Now, you're probably saying, hey, what's wrong with that, Ron G? A lot of us do that. A lot of us have done that. But I really think, like I said earlier, that when COVID hit and a lot of us came back home and had time to really think and thought about how unmotivated we were to be where we were. A lot of us walked off our jobs, we changed careers, and that's the reason why most of that was done, right? And we also had time to think about some other things. Another big reason that I want you to look at this is that, so the pursuit of passions coincides with the pursuit of happiness, right? And everybody knows what the story is in the United States. You all are in the pursuit of happiness, to search for the American dream. And I think in the process of searching for the American dream, You absolutely have to pursue your passion. So that's the third thing. Number four, the success rate of people that are working in the fields of their passions are higher. Why? They have more tendency to level up, to get the information, to get the education, in other words, to improve upon themselves, right? Because let's face it, when you're working somewhere and you're just pretty much decent at what you do for a living, you kind of just give the workplace like the bare minimum, right? Meaning that, I'm not going to go above and beyond. I mean, they're paying me a decent salary. I don't really like the place. I'm here, I'm working, I have to feed my family. So that need and that urge to kind of go above and beyond to like be excellent at what you do only happens when you're passionate in your field, you know? So you see certain people, and I'm not picking on trash men because they make some great freaking money. But no one's going and, I'm going to go to the University of Trash Psychology to see how I can better pick up trash without, maybe hurting myself or dispose of this, dispose of that. Now, for the people on the other side of that, maybe they are taking components out of people's trash and creating something special, like an invention. Gave you a plug. There you go. But anyway, my point is that's not the norm, right? So people are not really going out of their way to look at that. And my number five, top five reason to me is the financial success and stability rate. Remember, I always say, and I've said this over and over, it's not always how much you make, it's how much in addition to how long. And when you are doing something that you really, really enjoy doing, those 2 to 3 factors will always come to play. One, you will most likely work it as long as possible. You will most likely perfect it because it's something that you enjoy. So you're going to always be looking for ways to do it even better. You're engaged with the information. You're engaged with the knowledge. And so you continue to push yourself to levels that exceed expectations because it's you that's motivated. It's you that's pushing you. And even though most of you on this channel probably know I've been giving you a push over the last 2 to 3 years, and I'm going to keep pushing, at the end of the day, I can only push what's already inside of you, meaning I can only push what you're already secretly motivated to do. My job is just to help give you a little tug to move you along properly. Those are my top 5 reasons why passion is the number one way to earn a living. Ron G, aka Your Console. Peace out.